Welcome back to lesson 16. The first teaching lesson in lesson 16 is about the project plan is completed, what now? And we're continuing our lessons in our masterclass in project management. What will happen now? Will we execute the project? First of all, we have to verify with the charter the requirements and the scope. We have to verify the compliance with the business case. Then a financial evaluation is necessary. We also have to review the risk level of the project at the end of the planning. And when we are lucky, we can get a final approval and go on and start with the project. Let's continue now. So first of all, verify with the charter what are the requirements, what is the scope, do we comply with this? So at the end of the planning, it is very important that we verify if all the work defined and planned is compliant with the original concept. We should only complete the scope. The entire scope should be included in the project plan. So it's a very important element to verify. Is our plan complete? Did we put all the scope elements in the plan? Otherwise, we may have a problem here. We don't complete the project as originally it was concepted. We also have to consider about cost. What about the cost? Is the cost in compliance with the business case, with the estimations? What are the net present value, internal rate of return, payback time, or are other parameters of our return on investment policy? About the schedule, were there limitations about the schedule? Do we finish or do we plan to finish the project on time? What is the risk level of the project? How high is the risk level? We approved the budget, or we approved the business case, and that also implies that we accept the risk level of the project. So we have to verify all these things and see if the project complies with all these parameters. Like I already mentioned, what is the compliance with the business case? The business case was positive when we started with the project. Our ROI policy and all the risk elements was compliant with a project that we could undertake, and it was approved to go to the project initiation step. The project was selected amongst others to support the company's strategy. But at the end of the planning, we know the detailed budget. We know what is the risk level. And here we must look at all the other parameters of the business case too. Risk, not only finance, SWOT, timing, all these cases. Are these parameters also still valid? Based on the final financial evaluation, risk level, the decision will be made to continue or stop the project. So it's a very important element to consider here. Will we continue with the project, yes or no? First element I spoke about was a financial evaluation. The financial evaluation is because projects are created to create value. And this is typically expressed as making a profit. Now we can look at profits in different ways. There are different parameters to evaluate the value of the project, but the easiest way is to look at the profit. We must compare the return on investment policy and see if our project after planning, when the planning is completed, complies with the return on investment policy that we started with. In our simplified ROI policy, we evaluated the net present value, which must be larger than 0, the internal rate larger than the RRR or the required rate of return, and the payback time less than a preset time. Once the plan is finished, we know the parameters and we can accept or reject the project depending on their respective values. Risk evaluation is also very important because once we started with the project manager already saw that the project in the business case complied with the risk level that we accept for our projects. But when we look at the overall risk evaluation that was done at the beginning before starting with the project, this meant that we could start with the project. The risk level was acceptable. Now, once we accept it, we can in fact continue with the project. That's why we accepted the business case, because the overall risk evaluation was acceptable for our organization. Now, this can change. At the end of the planning step, we know a lot more about the project. We should have a clear overview of the risks, in this case threats, that could endanger the project. And the final risk review should give the green light to continue. Basically, once we can confirm that the risk level that we estimate at the end of the planning step complies with the risk level of the stakeholders and the organization. And then, when we are here, we get the final approval and the go of the project. We can start with project execution. All the information obtained during the initiation and planning will be part of the project plan. The formal start of the project is the signing off by the project client, sponsor, and project manager. The first point on the agenda is to acquire the team and organize a project kickoff meeting. In some cases, the kickoff meeting is already done when we start with the initiation, but we can also have a kickoff meeting once we start with the real execution. We bring all the people together to inform them about what is going to happen. So that was it for the first lesson, the first video, teaching video in lesson 16. We are starting with the execution of the project. We start working on creating the deliverables. So let's have a look at the other things we're going to do during project execution. And thank you for watching this video. I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Bye bye.